next session is a very, very interesting, a very inspirational one, which I'm sure all of us are waiting for. I am truly waiting for it. And it's called the empathetic dialogue. The topic of it is rising beyond limits, overcoming challenges, and embracing brilliance. First, let's invite our session moderator on stage. Prajakta Talvelkar, CMO at Mastek, is a dynamic marketing and communication professional with a proven track record. Prajakta remains dedicated to staying ahead of industry trends, positioning her as a valuable asset for any team seeking a creative and strategic marketing leader. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as I invite our session moderator on stage, Ms. Prajakta Talvelkar, Chief Marketing Officer, Mastek Group. Up next, Dr. Charudatta Jadhav, a visually impaired chess player, chess promoter, and a senior professional from Tata Consultancy. Dr. Charudatta became blind at the age of 18, but this didn't stop him from achieving success in his life. From becoming a web developer to getting nominated for a Padma Shri, he has done it all. Dr. Charudatta started playing chess when he started losing his sight partially. He is now the first Indian chess player to win a tournament in Ireland in October 1988. He shares his experience of being a blind chess player and how things are different for visually impaired chess players. He has received global recognition for his research work, and he now works at Tata Consultancy Services Limited as the head of accessibility. He shares the challenges of able bodied people in joining the tech sector at that time and tells us how things have changed in that sector. On that inspirational note, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Prajakta and Dr. Charudatta. Let's have a huge round of applause. Thank you, sir, for encouraging and inspiring us. Over to you, Prajakta.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Sorry, I couldn't just step in right then, but I thought I'll make it. Thank you so much. Before we really start the session, a big round of applause for NASCOM and the Regional Council, who's really working towards making difference in the tech sector. Can I please hear it for NASCOM, please? I'm sitting here representing the Regional Council. We have identified few tracks and we come from our own experiences. We're trying to make sure that our experience is of some use, some benefit to the industry as a whole. While we are so eager to hear from Dr. Jadhav and nose dive into his experiences, I've been quite intrigued to look at this little girl standing there in the corner, trying to help us understand. And I don't know how many of you all will relate to it, but all of those who belong to the 90s generation, we would wait for that Sunday afternoon bulletin. Okay, only the half an hour bulletin wherein the rundown of the whole week could come through. And with those little twinkle in the eyes, we were trying to learn the little A's and the B's, right? So thank you so much to you, dear little girl, for making that effort, and to the whole team and NASCOM for being just so at it. It's just not spoken about, but it's in action. So thank you to the team. Talking about Dr. Charudatta, well, you don't need an introduction, sir. So when the team approached me and they told me if I would like to have this dialogue with you, truly I believe that it's a privilege for me to share the dice with you, to share the stage with you. Um, we all know your journey, but how do we really make you share your journey through your lens with us? Why don't you take us through what it took you from there to come here, please? So here is your mic.
Thank you, Prajakta. So thank you, Prajakta. First of all, it is a pleasure to be part of a great event, and thank you for inviting me here. Um, when I look back and uh, uh, see my accomplishments, it's given me immense satisfaction. But this journey was not easy. Lots of challenges, but equally, it was very exciting journey. I'm coming from very humble background. My father was a mill worker, um, and unfortunately, due to the financial background, he couldn't pursue his education. But he was uh, uh, very keen and that his children should get educated, and he put all his basically efforts to ensure that we all siblings get a very good education. But suddenly, I was doing very well in education, but suddenly I lost my eyesight in when I was 13 years old. So this is 1980, and that particular moment, it was very big. Um, uh, you know, um, what I called, normally I don't talk about the adversities more, but it was one of the day which was entire family was gone into a depression. My father was having a lot of expectations from me. I was basically expecting something which I wanted to do in my life. Even my school was expecting something from me, but suddenly I lost my sight, and I was unable to pursue my education. That time the awareness on the abilities of blind was very less place. Plus, where I was staying, uh, even people were not knowing about what the person with visually challenge can do in life. So all surrounding that negativity, and people were thinking that telling me that I need to be to curtail everything in my life and just live a life sitting at home. Somebody has to help me in all my activities. So that period 1980 to 1985 was that period where lots of negativity, low hopes, nothing is going to. So I thought that I will be depend upon somebody throughout my life. So that was the period, and then those adversities throughout my life. Even I got some breakthroughs in my personal and professional lives is remain because of the societal mindset of looking at people with disabilities. But the turning point has come in my life in 1985, where chess has played a very important role. So today, whatever I'm there is because of chess. But that is the first tournament which I played where everybody was the mainstream. They cited use chess players, and I was the only blind person. And I won that tournament. Uh, it was a district tournament, not a big event, but it has given me a different perspective of life. If game of chess, if I can defeat the best of the players in that particular region, it means I can do anything in my life. And from that day onwards, I started looking my life differently. I started analyzing my strengths, where I could utilize my strengths, and and then the rest of the history. Then I started exploring the areas which was unexplored. Basically got into an IT after completion of my education. Of course, it was challenged. Nobody was ready to give me admission. Nobody thought that the blind person can work on computer. Nobody has thought that the blind person can play chess. When I pursued chess at professional level with mainstream, so those adversities was there, but I basically, with determination, with very the ambition to do something in that space, I pursued, and I could able to achieve those landmarks which I could achieve. So what has made difference in this my entire journey is that key things. First, that self belief and self confidence which chess has given me, that I could achieve if once I basically choose the right area for me. Nobody can stop me to achieve that. Number two, that every problems comes with opportunities. So if you look problems from the problem side, then everything is negative. That period of 1980-85. But if you look problem from the opportunity side, there are a lot of opportunities we will get. So it is always we see that we have always two options available in an important stage of our life. And what is important is that we look that from the positive side, and take the problems at head on and solve those and move ahead. We could achieve much more than what you know. We could basically look those problems from the negative side. Second thing is, nothing is impossible in our life, provided we set the ambitious goal, and pursue those goals with determination. So these are basically few things which has helped me to redefine my life with self belief and self confidence. And I traverse through my chess as a hobby, as a professional chess players, and also do career in the area of IT and research, which is very rare when I started. the career in this particular space. So this is what Prajakta, at nutshell, that my journey starts with lots of negativity. But I thank God that very early I got these problems in my teenage, and it has made me very strong person. So when I look back, I don't basically think that the why I got those problems in early in my life, but it is basically made me a very a strong person, which has helped me throughout my life.
Truly inspirational, sir. While you have so many awards to your credit, I remember you mentioned one thing to me, and that's truly my takeaway through the several interactions that I have had with you. So while I was having a conversation with Sir, he mentioned that Prajakta, I never waited for an award, for a felicitation, to really tell me that I'm on the right track, or to assure that yes, I'm doing the right thing. I would wake up every day and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to nail it. This is my victory. So, isn't it truly inspirational? Because we all wait for that one project to go live, for that one industry recognition to come our way. And here is someone who's really celebrating every day his way. So, while we talk about this, sir, maybe you would want to highlight one of such award that is really important for you. And even today, you cherish how you work towards it, how you received the award, and some memories associated with it.
Uh, Yes, there are several such milestones which I always cherish in my life. Of course, awards are those recognitions, those moments. But I personally keep myself motivated with even a smaller breakthrough, which we basically get in our life. So that basically helped me keep motivated throughout my life, because the kind of adversities and challenges which I faced throughout my life, it was important to have some motivation. So when I get up, so I made that point that I cherish each and every moment which basically a breakthrough, a smaller success. So that has kept me going in spite of the adversities. But the one thing which I always cherish, and which has a redefining moment for my life, it has a big impact on my own life, is a national award which I got in 2006. It's not that basically I'm cherish that just is a national award, but it basically the award which I received from Dr. Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam, and the after that, the association which I had with him, his mentorship, his support of even pursuing my professional life, my contribution in the social field, my contribution in the sports field, and he basically has given me that mission and purpose of my life, that along with whatever I achieve in my personal life, what I should do in contributing into making difference in the lives of people with disability. So getting introduced to such legend, number one, and then getting the moments, sharing the moments with him, his guidance, and this is basically has redefined my life. And even today he's not with us, but I always basically when I face those challenges, or I need some inspiration, I always remember the discussions with him and all. So this that particular moment of 2006 of national award, and then the moment which I have shared with him, as always basically is a big thing in my life, which I always keep sharing, cherishing in my life. Second thing which I could highlight, as I said, that if you follow your dream with determination, God gives you more than what you deserve. So that expedition, 1992. So trekking and mountaineering was my hobby. In spite of my blindness, I wanted to get into nature, and I have been selected for the Himalayan expedition, 1990. It's the world's first Himalayan expedition, and it was a 27 days overall expedition. The last 3 days was very tough. There was cyclone. The climate was not good, and there was a discussion that we should about the expedition and come back. And they also suggested me that you remain in base camp, don't go to climb the final this the last 3 days part, where which is 80% this. But as I said that never left anything accomplished half in my life. Once I decided that I need to achieve, so with that determination, I told everybody that I want to continue. I went to the peak, which was 17,220 feet. But what is important is that entire 3 days was fully cloud. But when I reached to the peak, early morning at 4:30, and that sun came out of the that from the cloud, and my the person who was with me as explaining me that how the surrounding everywhere there was ice, and early sun was falling onto that ice, and it is that we are standing on that uh, I'm still getting that goosebump that I think that God came and gave me that blessings that I didn't leave that expedition in half. Of course, it was risky for my life, but I pursued and with determination and achieved that. So those moments I keep cherishing whenever I face those difficult moment in the life. That there is always a light end of the tunnel. Just we need to determine and pursue. Nobody can stop achieving your goals. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now, shifting the gear actually to the future through technology lens. We hear a lot about Gen AI and the emerging technologies. Now, you coming from the technology sector and especially taking help of technology to increase the adoption of DNI, how do you think that this new emerging technology landscape can aid to increase the adoption of DNI?
Yeah. So my perspective of looking at DNI is that, of course, we need to take care of people with disabilities, give them opportunities. But what is important is to create an equitable world. So the everyone could basically aspire to get into those and then achieve what they wanted to, instead of we assisting people with disability and defining the path for them. And AI is going to play very, very important role in creating those equitable world. If you see today, I do everything on my own, almost everything with the help of technology. So things which due to my blindness I was unable to do. Reading print content, very simple activities, or recognizing who are basically around me when I basically walking around, how I could walk with the help of technology. Of course, TIC is there. So there are a lot of places where I started basically using technologies and made myself completely independent. So AI has had helped me to be what I am today, and I got opportunity to in professional life to get into a passion which is close to my heart and conduct those research. So this technologies AI and Gen AI has tremendous capabilities which could help people with disability to overcome their limitations. So, for example, sign language. Today we have a sign language interpreters who basically interpret on for help of those communications. But using AI, we could basically come up with an sign language interpretation models which could real time convert the audio into sign language into audio. And then today's the challenges of person with hearing difficulty which face in communications can completely goes out, and then they could basically get into education, get into employment with equal opportunities without adopting by their colleagues or themselves. Or the smart glass, which one of my research, which also a person with visually challenged, which helps that glass to read a print content just like anybody. So when I did my education, undergraduate and my masters, somebody else was reading books for me. Or today, I can read my newspaper, I can read my book with you. That it basically helped me to recognize the currency. It has helped me to recognize the people around me. It also tells me that person what mood he is, so I can articulate my discussion when I start keeping in mind what mood which normally is not possible for us to understand before that person start talking. So there are a lot of such things which we see around, which AI can already started making difference in the lives. And the future, there is an exponential opportunities, especially in the education where blind person is unable to do the STEM education. But using AI, under reading the images, or the person could draw the images, the geometry diagrams, and all those kind of things could be made possible if we basically use the AI and Gen AI and build those capabilities. Lots of white space are there. The research community could get into this and then create those technologies. And some of those technologies could be elevated to make a difference in the lives of mainstream, like indoor navigation, which is, can help blind person to navigate but in the indoor environment, but it also helps the mainstream users when they get into an unfamiliar environment. So there are so many such technologies are there which could not only solve the problem of people with disabilities, but which we could elevate to create value to the mainstream. So I believe that the next gen technologies, the AI, machine learning, the IoTs, quantum computing, the metaverse, and then the inclusive thinking, which is basically considering the requirement of everyone, could redefine the way we are going to use technology and interact technology. So my message to everyone who are IT professionals, so whatever you are developing, the products or solutions, keep in mind the requirements of people with disability, people with elderly population, and then consider those as a part of your requirements, and then build those technologies and remove those hurdles. So that it's help in creating that equitable world, and the people with disability could enter into any field and then contribute not only to support their family but in the nation building.
Thank you, sir. This is a true showcase how Gen AI or the emerging technologies could be an extension of ourselves. So, on behalf of NASCOM and the Regional Council, thank you very much, Dr. Jadhav, for the enlightening session. And I would like to throw upon a couple of questions, requests to the audience. How and in what means and ways you think we should take few measures, may it be like building communities, leveraging technology. What are the ways and methods we can increase the adoption of inclusive practices? Today, if you will look at the adoption of diversity, it's more than 90%. But even one of the NASCOM reports that we refer and we take it as a gospel truth, the PWD adoption is still at 60%, which means we have scope for increasing by 40%. So I would definitely like to hear your views, your recommendations, your comments on how can we catapult this journey, how can we bridge this gap. So me and my council members would like to take up some of these initiatives, these activities, and with NASCOM would like to industrialize them. With that, over to you, my dear.
Thank you so much. I know time's up, but if one question is what we can take. Yes, ma'am. Can we have the mic, please, in the front row?
Good afternoon. In fact, good morning, actually. So, thank you. It was lovely listening to both of you actually interact. I'm a parent of a child with disability, and I think today what we're doing is we're talking at a workplace level, right? DNI is being adopted only and spoken about at a workplace level. What about at the academic level, at primary, middle school, high school level? Our schools and institutions are still way behind, right? So, this is a I don't know if it's a remark or a question, but you must have had, challenges at an academic level. Uh, don't you think intervention at an early education level is the key to actual adoption, of anything to do with people with disabilities, right? Whether it is getting them access to education, healthcare, needs, aids, whatever it is, right? And then we prepare them for a better tomorrow, for better workplaces, and make them actually develop empathy at a much earlier level, even with children who are regular, right? Who don't have any issues. So it could be considered a question or a remark, but that's my little take on this.
Yeah, I fully agree with you that this has to be holistic approach is required, and this adoption has to be um, uh, 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 from the uh, from the childhood level, from the how we could ensure that the education is inclusive, and that entire journey of the life cycle of any individual, lot needs to be done. And therefore, as I said, that yeah, instead of the approach with very specific disabilities and their problem statements, if we create an inclusive environment around us, and then ensure that the people with disability gets those opportunities and then allow them to be successful and fail. So a lot of interventions are required. As I say, as you rightly said, that in education, education is not inclusive today. As I said, the blind person is facing a lot of challenges getting into science education. Even the fundamental education, the books are not ready available for them. Somebody has to record and give. That was the way we were studying. But now there are innovations are there. For example, that Access Infinity, which TCS has developed, which has transformed the landscape of accessible digital publishing. Today 700,000 books are available for all 15, 16 state boards, universities, and all those. So those things are started, but it is not one individual, one organization, or group of people's work. It is basically everyone's responsibility to contribute. And therefore, I want to appeal, because in this audience, basically everybody who's going to create the newer technologies in future, are basically already involved into this. So if you consider whatever you basically develop is inclusive in nature, then we basically taking a step forward towards creating that environment which basically inclusive in nature.
I will just add two words to what Dr. Saab said. One is a different enablement, all right? And that sensitization, I wouldn't say it's to the level, but it has reached the schools, it has reached the academic level. And the second one is opportunity. These are the two things which will make truly the difference. Yeah. And as a council, or as an aware individual, if we can contribute in our personal and professional capacity, we should take that as our own bearing. Thank you, ma'am, for the question.
Thank you so much to both of you. And like they say that there is a solution beyond your wildest imagination. And if the and when that happens is when your determination is very clear and you constantly keep working on your determination. That's where things happen that you never had imagined. So on that note, let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Jadhav and Ms. Prajakta for such a wonderful and inspiring session.
Thank you.
May I please invite Ms. Kavita from NASCOM on stage?